Right, so we're here as actors trying to bring the natural, developed instinct that you mentioned, and this verb process that takes place. That means a lot of technique too. How do we, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd like to, let's semantically play. The word technique implies I'm doing it in the actual performance. Performa, by the way, performance is a brutal word as well, because the etymology of performance is performa as in the shape of or in the contract of. And a performance sets up the idea that's been set in stone. There's no such thing as performance, it's always rehearsal. Your close-up on set is still a rehearsal. Your reheursier comes from Old French, it comes from re-raking. And you're re-raking to try to find new fertile soil. You're constantly digging for a new fertile soil. So acting is always a rehearsal. And you know, I've been on stage 147 times, and you're in your last performance, you're still trying to find it. And you know, there's a reason why Patrick Stewart goes back to play Shylock in Merchant of Venice every decade. They keep handing Olivier awards and saying, that's the best interpretation. And he always goes, 10 years later, he's like, I gotta do it again, I got it wrong. That's the best one ever. And he's like, no, I gotta do it again. Because he's an artist, he's constantly trying to dig to find it. And so
the word is process.
So the word to me is process, not technique. Because technique has a sort of I open to the audience, and you know, always have an upward heavenly glance or that kind of stuff. And so technique is a scary word. Whereas to me, because it's a correct word and it correctly, but I think now people think of it as during performance you have technique. Whereas I don't think that that's true. I think it's during preparation you have process. So I'm going to talk about now all the processes of how to do what I'm talking about. I will take a short break and then we'll do it. But we'll do the process of how does one get to that point. And it's actually, we may call it process, and it might be Matthew speak, but in the end, it's intensely common knowledge. Basically, it all comes from this. What this art form is life. We are life anthropologists, sociologists. We're existence researchers, and we're bringing existence to light on camera, on stage. Our job is to hold a mirror up to nature, as it were, and show society what society looks like. That's our job, right? So we are creating real life in order to show people what real life looks like. And sometimes, mostly in a really pulled apart, scraped down, bleeding, beautiful kind of way that most of them are only get once or twice in life. There's a thing called shock of existence. And a shock of existence moment is when you are shocked into realizing that, fuck, I'm here. It's a deeply consciousness kind of level. And you get it when you're diagnosed with cancer, or when your parents are diagnosed with cancer, or you bury a parent. You get it when your heart has been broken. You get it when you've been given the big job. You get it when you get on your knees and say, marry me. Or someone says, marry me. You know, shock of existence moments. Real people have a shock of existence moment every couple of years, you know. You walk out on set and take one, action, shock, cut, good, breathe. Take two, here we go, action, shock! And you're like basically shocking yourselves constantly. If you're in the theater performance, you're shocking yourself sometimes 30, 40 times over 2 hours live in front of people. That's your job. You're defibrillating yourself. And clear, boom! You're defibrillating yourself. Because by defibrillating yourself and shocking your existence, you're going, BAM! You're basically saying to the audience, clear, boom! You're alive! And everyone goes, and then they go home and then they close up again. That's what they're doing. That's why we do it. That's why we commune. That's why originally all hung out by the fire and told stories about the rhino that got away.